Hi Aquarius, welcome to your May 2020 tarot reading. I almost said the wrong thing again. It's Raina here. Sorry if I sound a little bit confused, but it happens when you do different types of readings. Oh my gosh, what is that? I hope that's a plane. I think it might be helicopter. Not cutting down another tree. Okay. Alrighty then. So we have as the heart of the matter, the Five of Wands. I've gotten this several times, I think, and as I was saying to the other sign that I did with this, I look at this card, I have to look around to see if what else is going on. In the past position, I'll bring this up, we have the Two of Pentacles. So this could be a workplace situation, and maybe you being on the horns of a dilemma about whether or not to accept another job or to be looking for another job. The Five of Wands can indicate some kind of like office place drama, a lot of competitive stuff going on, and what I wanted to say is, but I do feel sometimes that this can be a card of invigorating competition. So the word competition doesn't have to automatically mean something negative. It can mean that the person feels like they're being challenged and they're in an environment where there's very talented people and they have to step up their game, and that's not a bad thing, in that particular context. For others, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a negative type of a connotation, because with the Two of Pentacles, it can be, deciding whether or not to stay in that environment. And like a dog-eat-dog environment is what I meant to say with the Five of Wands, where everybody is trying to vie for being the top dog, if you will. And that leads to a lot of negative behavior that, needless to say, is not conducive to having a good workplace experience. And so you may be debating about that. And also with the Two of Pentacles, you may have already started another job, maybe a part-time job, start working on your own business. Two of Pentacles can be kind of like you're spread thin, you're doing a lot. And part of that is because you are phasing out this. You may want to just leave it all together, but you're not sure if you can swing it. It just doesn't feel like it's necessarily the right move to make now, and maybe it isn't. But if you resonate with this idea of being in kind of a toxic work environment, if it's like very dog eat dog, then you have to weigh the effects of this environment on the overall situation to see if it's worth giving up at this point. Another thing that the Five of Wands can be is conflict in a relationship. Now with the Two of Pentacles, it might be even somebody seeing two people, whether that's you or the person that you're with, and that creating a lot of conflict, or that being the conflict being the reason that you went outside of the relationship, or that the relationship is creating, the extra marital or outside relationship is generating a lot of conflict. Usually in those types of situations, if there's a third party, the main relationship is already compromised in its own sense, and therefore the affair, if you will, is a direct result of that. And it's not, I'm not saying that that's a good thing, especially if there's deception involved. I'm just saying that I don't think that affairs happen when there is a happy, strong relationship. So I'm not talking about open marriages. I'm talking about relationships where somebody's having an affair. I think that there was already some kind of conflict, vulnerability in that relationship for it to get to that point, and that has to be acknowledged and not, kind of swept under the rug. The higher message is the Strength card, and the best thing I can say about this is this too shall pass. Is not worrying about, if you feel very stressed out right now, Aquarius, about a situation in your life, it's not a permanent situation. It's kind of like a transitional period, and I kind of, that makes me feel comfortable saying that. I mean, even thinking about my own life, when I feel like, everything is, completely haywire, saying this is only a transition, and in that transition it gets messy, but it's all good. And this card, as the challenge card, kind of goes along with that, because it's the Page of Wands. It's in the challenge position. So pages can be the start of something, and Wands is autonomy and creativity and things like that. And because it's in the challenge position, for whatever reason, the timing or the belief system that you have may not support that yet. And that's why maybe the Strength card is you need to build your strength. But it's more, I would say, on the inner level. So that if you are indecisive about something that you probably know intellectually you need to act upon, Aquarius, that you have that confidence in your perception, that you can make the decision and make it without feeling uncomfortable. Because that's the best feeling in the world, when you can make a decision of great consequence and know that even if it feels weird doing it, you know that it's the right decision. I say this because in my life, I never have really acknowledged this, but I think I'm a pretty indecisive person. I would hate to think that I was wishy-washy, because I don't think I am. I think I have very strong opinions on things. But maybe it's that fear of the unknown and things like that. Well, when I think of very important events in my life, they have been, it's funny, they all involve, the three events that I'm thinking of offhand all involve moving. And not really moving that far from where I've grown up. But in all three cases, I had that sense of knowing. And that made it easy to do. Actually, I can think of 4 cases like that. And that made it a lot easier to do. And when you're able to do things like that, there's that sense of like, yeah, it feels weird. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's time, the time is right. Well, maybe the time doesn't feel right to you, and so it's not going to be necessarily, how it is for everybody. But in any case, I hope that you can maybe like reflect on things a bit more, and then you'll be able to have that where the Page of Wands is really calling to you and saying, yeah, I want to go in this direction and I can't wait. I'm very excited about this. What's coming in is the King of Cups. This can be an older male who is a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. For a minute I was like, okay, what are the water signs again? You have to forgive me, it's the morning. I'm having my chai tea, but trying to kickstart my brain into gear. And, you know, I don't like to say always older. It could be somebody who is very wise, maybe wise beyond their years. But someone, it can even be like professionally a counselor or a healer, a spiritual healer, a spiritual teacher who you look to for guidance, or who comes into your life, maybe even in a very unusual way. You have a lot of energy in the 12th house, Aquarius, and that can, you know, attract you to spiritual teachers, especially with Jupiter retrograding in this house. 12th, there's going to be some retrogrades in the 12th. For you, Saturn and Jupiter, for instance. And I think Pluto's retrograde. I don't know. But in any case, this can even be a father. I don't know how that would connect to the above. Or someone that you meet if you are involved with maybe a Scorpio or someone. This person may be the one that you go towards, because perhaps you're with somebody that you just don't connect with. And this is the person who's most right for you. Now, isn't it interesting? The card I end up with is the Star card. And that's your card. So to thine own self be true. Maybe I'll title that this. Because I do see that, you know. The Strength card too. I mean, the Strength card is connected to Leo, your opposite sign. And I think, you know, if I had to say one thing, is that Leo, a sign like Leo, one of the things that Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is our self, is our, and I'm, you know, the conscious self, the self that we have incarnated to become in this lifetime. And the more that you are true to yourself and know yourself, the easier it is to make decisions, and the easier it is to walk away from things that are not serving you. The other thing about the Star card, you know, perhaps the King of Cups, maybe that's your father, and maybe if your father has crossed over, I mean, the Star card is faith in unseen forces. And obviously you could say, well, that's believing in God, but it's more than that. It's believing that what is not here in the physical is still the potential reality waiting to be born. And I haven't delved too much into the law of attraction in terms of Abraham Hicks. I mean, I've watched videos and things like that, but I keep hearing about, you know, they keep talking about being in the vortex, and about, you know, vibrational escrow and things like that. And, you know, apparently that's one of the beliefs, is that if you want something, it's already there in the, I don't know if you'd call it the astral realm, or the womb of creation, whatever, but it's something that is waiting for you, but you have to kind of activate it. So activate it already, Aquarius. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like an astrological reading, I'd love to read for you. I'm mainly an astrologer, and so I bring that perspective to my readings. Please check me out at rainandmoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care.